Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my Demon Avenger. And today it's going to be a pretty exciting part because first thing I wanted to share with you guys, my character is finally level 260. This is probably the most important part of progression for most characters, especially for the accounts that actually are using the item burning as well. We are able to finally unlock our 6 job advancement and work on so many new things, and the 6 job advancement really opens up so much more content for us because it gives so much damage. Just to catch you guys up, I did level up a bunch of times since the end of the last video. Of course, I've just been keeping up with my dailies and my monster parks, but to get to level 260, I was actually hoping to get it a little bit earlier than I did as of this video. I actually missed out on quite a few days of dailies, and to make up for it, I decided to do a little bit of grinding. This event gives us a lot of 3x coupons, and they also gave us on the Sunny Sunday a bunch of VIP boosters as well. So I tried to use these a little bit to just get a little bit of EXP, but I found that it was still pretty slow, so I just accepted the fact that I just had to rely a little bit more on my dailies and I'll focus on grinding a little bit later. But eventually we did manage to hit level 260, as you guys can see, and I'm just about to do my 6 job advancement. But before I go ahead and do that, I did want to update, I have run hard Damien this week. I just wanted to share that usually this is not part of standard progression by any means. I probably wouldn't have allowed myself this if it was on pretty much any other class, but again, because I am specifically playing a demon class, I wanted to give myself the best chances of getting a Rune Force Shield, so I gave an exception to myself to get hard Damien carried to see if I can get the Rune Force Shield. Eventually, I will be able to solo the boss myself, but I figured until then, I'm going to try to take as many hard Damien runs as I can for the chance of that Rune Force Shield. Unfortunately, I didn't get it this week, but that's okay. The drop is relatively rare, so it might take us months if we see it at all. Oh, and I almost forgot. One more last thing before we go into our 6th job. On that same Sunny Sunday that gave us the VIP boosters, they also gave us a 50% IA reroll. What that means for us is that we were able to reroll our inner ability at half price, and as you guys might have remembered from the previous parts, I did spend a bit of money to reroll all the IAs to legendary. So let's go through them a little bit. The first one I wanted to share with you guys is this Meso Obtained page. I was trying to roll for Meso Obtained in general for the legendary line, as you guys can see here, but I ended up accidentally rolling a item drop line on the unique line. So what I decided to do there was I locked this line at unique, and then I rolled for the top line, and I eventually happened to hit 20% meso. I probably would have settled for any legendary meso line, but the fact that it is 20% makes it really, really nice. The second line, you guys have seen this already, I rolled 20% item drop with the miracle circulators. This is really nice for us, so then we have a little bit more drop rate when we do break the boss boxes, and when we do finish our bosses, hopefully we have a better chance at getting good items, such as superiors and maybe ring boxes, and if we're really lucky, maybe even pitch boss. But this is just a little bit of extra drop rate, can't go wrong, and good usage out of our presets. And now our damage preset is probably the one that was the most important for us. I originally had 20% boss damage, and I think this was actually the first thing that I rolled. I clicked it once, aiming for attack speed +1, and we did manage to actually get attack speed +1. This is the best in slot line for Demon Avenger alongside a lot of different classes. This makes it so then my character attacks a lot faster, especially with the green pot, and this is probably the most important thing to get on this class when it comes to bossing. As for the rest of the lines, I just took whatever came first in terms of the damage. I just happened to get lucky and hit 5% boss damage. This is a very difficult line to actually get, and I was lucky enough to roll it relatively quickly because between the unique lines, boss damage is the harder one to get. And just getting this boss damage is nice, just free bit of damage, and we happen to hit a relatively rare line, so we don't have to worry about it later. But yeah, our Demon Avengers IAs are pretty much complete. We have a very strong bossing IA here with the attack speed +1 with a little bit of boss damage. We have a item drop page, so then we can break our boss boxes. And we have our farming IA, so once we do get into Grandis and onwards, I'll be able to farm and get as much money as possible with a bunch of extra drop rate too. Okay, rambling actually over now. I'm gonna go ahead and start my 6th job advancement now, and I'll see you guys in a little bit because this might take a little bit of time. And after a few of the cutscenes, we have finally unlocked Cernium and Burning Cernium. I'm still getting used to the fact that we have to get both of them unlocked at the same time. They didn't used to come together, but That's okay. We have basically unlocked 2 areas for the price of 1, although I don't think we'll be able to use Burning Cernium anytime soon due to the Sacred Force requirements. But speaking of the Sacred Force, we do finally get our Sacred Symbol, which is the first one so far here. And this is going to be a new set of dailies for us. I think I would like to get this up as soon as possible, so I might consider claiming some of the symbols in the event. I know in this particular event they gave us a lot of symbols here. You can see 60 symbols. This should pretty much send it all the way to level 2 or maybe level 3. I really want to be able to get this sacred symbol higher as soon as possible so I can start training in Grandis comfortably. Right now I'm actually on 60 sacred, 10 of it from this symbol itself, but also from the title that they gave us for our burning. This title is surprisingly very powerful thanks to the 50 sacred symbols, allowing us to actually still grind in Grandis even though we are very, very under Sacred Force. Pretty much all of the maps here in Cernium are 30 Sacred Force, and I think in Burning it goes up to 50. And thanks to the title, we are able to, in fact, train in all of those, although I think our damage is actually quite low, so even then training is a bit of a stretch, but we'll have to make the best of what we got. And what we're going to try to do is unlock our 6th job. To be able to unlock your 6th job, there are still a few more cutscenes, actually quite a lot of cutscenes, and we do get a few stones that we have to fill up with EXP. I'm going to get this started and I'll show you guys the stones I'm talking about, and we will have to complete all of the stones before we get our 6th job. So after the first bit of the cutscenes, we have now gotten our first stone, and they have significantly decreased the amount of EXP required for this, but this is very similar to the stones that we get at the beginning of the Arcane River as well. So we'll have to fill this up by just grinding, and thankfully now we are in Grandis, so the mobs give us significantly more EXP, which is super nice, and then we'll have to hand it back into her, and then afterwards we get another 6 stones to fill, so a total of 7, but all of them are significantly lower than what they used to be. What used to take about 3 hours has now definitely decreased, closer down to about half an hour. And we do have a few other things that we can use to make this grind a little bit easier. Thankfully, on the most recent Sunny Sunday, they gave us some VIP boosters, so I will be using these to hopefully speed up the arcane stones. I only have 5 left over from the event, and these 20 other are from a different event, so I won't be using those on this character, I think. But I will see how fast it takes me to get these stones done. I might even do this on stream because it could take up to half an hour. Overall, it shouldn't take too long to get this done. I am more concerned at the fact that I probably don't have very good damage. I'm gonna quickly show you guys whether or not I can actually do enough damage to the mobs. And for this, I will just go into my damage gear to give myself a better chance at clearing the mobs. Just keeping in mind that my character is still relatively new. And yeah, as we can see here, it is a little bit painful, but it doesn't look impossible. I think this is going to be a slow and steady clear to get these crystals done. Again, I do have to do 7 of them, and I do not do enough damage here, so I will probably have to put on my link skills, but I don't think that would make too much of a difference, if I'm to be honest. But yeah, this is just something that we're going to have to do. I might try to find a better map. These guys might not be the best mobs for me to clear at the moment because they are pretty strong. And I might go ahead and try to clear on the easier mobs down here at the bottom of Cernium. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get all these done, and I'll see you guys when I get my 6th job. So we have finished up with our 6th job pre-quest, and thankfully it didn't take too long. We used a lot of EXP bonuses, including things like the 3x coupons that they give us for this event. This really helped out a lot. These 3x coupons did come in clutch, even though I don't have too many of them left. I think I only needed 1 of them to finish up, and using that alongside things like MVP, and I also used the VIP boosters. I think I used maybe 4 or 5 of them, and that was enough for us to finish up our 6th job. And as you guys can see here, I have unlocked my origin skill. Nothing else unlocked yet, but we will slowly make our way through and upgrade all of these, because some of these things are really, really powerful. I'm looking forward, for example, to boosting a few of my Hexa masteries. As for my Soul Erda, you can see I'm currently sitting at 6 out of 20, and this was just because they gave us a bunch from the previous events, and they were expiring, so I figured I might save myself a little bit of time, getting myself a head start here on Soul Erda. Usually, to start off the Hexa matrix, the Soul Erda is pretty slow to start, but it does eventually become a Soul Eater Fragment time gate. Just to catch you guys up a little bit as well, not only did I do my 6th job advancement, again, it took me about 20 minutes to do, and funnily enough, just the cutscenes to finish my 6th job actually took longer than the actual grind for 6th job. And after that, I decided to go ahead and do the rest of the weeklies that I could already do. We did get most of it done within half an hour, including normal slime. Slime last week, I think it took me about 15 minutes to get the clear, but now with my Origin, I cut it down to just about 10 minutes. The Origin does quite a lot of damage. Even though I don't think I'm using it correctly, it really does help us a lot with our burst every 6 minutes. And I think with our Origin now, this will help us a lot with attempting our easy Lucid clear. To help us with our easy Lucid clear, there are a few things I need to do. I would like to claim a few more things from this event. Of course, now that we are level 260, we get 5 more EXP node stones and 150 symbols, which will help us out a little bit there. And we also get 100 of these symbol selectors as well. I don't really know if I want to claim these just yet, because I think there is a chance that I can get level 265 before the end of the Hyperburn. The Hyperburn ends sometime in February, so I have quite a few months to claim these, and because of our item burn, we get a level 5 symbol pretty quickly, so I don't think that getting sacred symbols early on is too necessary. Also, we do have a pretty nice title that gives us Sacred Force, so our Sacred Force isn't going to be an issue. But I will claim these symbols here and the EXP nodestone to help us out with our damage a little bit. I have already also claimed a fair amount of the stuff from this event. You can see I claimed another 10 EXP nodestones here, and our V Matrix is looking pretty good. There's only a few skills left that I have to max out. We're just slowly working on this. The only thing that's a little bit weak at the moment is actually my boost nodes. These things are not even level 20 each yet, so I'm looking forward to hopefully maxing these out soon. In terms of our arcane symbols too, they are all currently sitting at level 14. We are maybe 20% of the way there to maxing these, and whenever we get these symbol selectors, I tend to just spread them out evenly, as you guys can see here. This way they all kind of level up at the same time and we finish all of the dailies at the same time. Now, I'm about to go ahead and try Easy Lucid, but before I go into Easy Lucid, I wanted to show you guys just one more game that I've made on the character, and I did this at the end of the stream after I finished my dailies. I did decide to finally roll away my potential on my secondary. It's not that big of a gain, but originally my secondary was 2 lines of 30% boss damage. Now it's at 12% attack and 30% boss damage. This is pretty minor in terms of damage gains for bossing, but for mobbing this will help me out a decent amount, because originally I didn't have even a single line of attack. I think I would have preferred 2 lines of attack to really help out with my mobbing, but this will be fine for the time being. I also cleaned up some of my hyper stats here and boosted up, I think, my crit damage and my boss damage a bit, and we are sitting nicely at around 11 mil combat power. The link skills, of course, I haven't really changed up. If anything, I'm actually missing a few, but I think the ones I'm missing are just my training links. And just to round things off with these as well, now that I'm level 260, I'll give myself, I guess, one more link skill. And I'm thinking between either using terms and conditions or perhaps unfair advantage. I'm not really sure which one is better for my class, so I'm just going to pick a consistent one. This terms and conditions skill is very nice for our burst. It gives us 60% damage for about 10 seconds. And that will round out our 12 link skills for the time being. As for our Legion as well, I haven't really touched on this too much. I've just been keeping the one that I've been using the entire time. It doesn't really add anything, I'll be honest. It gives us 5% IED and 6% boss damage because we have our Lin. I think I put this in because I chose her link skill early on, and I also have my Demon Avenger in here as well. This 80 luck from the Hoyoung is pretty much irrelevant, and I'll be honest, I think I'm okay just trying this out with no Legion. I think having a proper Legion board is quite powerful, and I just wanted to see how far I could take a character that doesn't have like too crazy of the upgrades. I do have a lot of link skills, I won't deny that, but I would like to think that a lot of these link skills are relatively easy to get. You could get away with just leaving a lot of these link skills at level 2. So getting a bunch of mules to 120 and just stacking them up, you can get pretty far. I can't really remake my link skills as of right now, so it'll just have to be like this for my Demon Avenger. All I have to do now really is to get some buffs and make sure that I have everything set up correctly. I have my attack speed IA with my boss damage and attack. This is probably as good as it's going to be for quite a while. So I'll have to make sure I use this on our bossing preset. And of course I need to make sure that I have a decent amount of consumables ready. I would like to make sure I have green and red pot Now that I have attack speed +1, this green pot is going to be significantly better. It will give us a lot of attack speed, and I believe we do need this attack speed +1 to break the cap. So our Demon Avenger is going to be doing max damage. And of course the red potion. The red potion is actually highly valuable for Demon Avenger too, because not only does it give attack, it also gives 2000 HP, which is just free damage for our class. Also making sure to use our guild skills. I only have 2 out of the 3 main guild skills, but hopefully they'll be okay for our clear. I'm just going to claim the last of our EXP node stones here onto some of our skills, and let's give a go at Easy Lucid. And there we have it. We actually managed to clear Easy Lucid solo a lot quicker than I expected. The first time that I tried to do Easy Lucid on this character, it took me so much longer to do the amount of damage that I did. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that my Origin does a decent amount of damage. I'm very happy with what it is. And maybe it is also this AB link. It felt like my burst was significantly higher. I know the AB link obviously is a burst link skill, but it felt like it helped quite a lot today. And I'm just glad that this run didn't take longer than the 10 minutes that it did. I was still dying a lot to the mechanics, and I think a lot of it is just me not knowing how to deal with them on a Demon Avenger. One of the mechanics in particular was definitely the bomb. I didn't realize that for Easy Lucid you had a longer time to prepare for it, and that didn't save me at all. I still died to the bomb, I think 3 different occasions. And yeah, overall I'm just really happy that we managed to finish off Easy Lucid without too much difficulty. It took a little bit over 12 minutes, and that is perfectly fine. And like I said, we are done here, and this finishes up our Challenger burning. This is the last challenge that we needed to do, and it comes with a pretty nice crystal as well. Let's go ahead and sell this thing. The Lucid crystal sells for a pretty nice 230 mil. Because I've already sold a few crystals, I only get 173, but honestly that is a lot of extra money, and this will help us a lot with our progression here. I also realized that I didn't buy the Wild Hunter potion. I don't have that in my system to buy these out of habit just yet, so hopefully the next time we do some bosses I'll make sure to grab some of these as well. More importantly, we forget about that, let's just go ahead and finish off our item burning. This is the last part that we needed to do, and we get such a huge boost. We get a level 5 Cernium symbol, which is amazing, and we get 100 fragments. These 100 fragments will go quite a ways, especially on a new character. I have some ideas with what I would like to do with this, and yeah, let's just claim everything first. And there we go, guys. 100 fragments and a level 5 Cernium symbol. Huge gains for a new count, especially the Cernium symbols. This is actually quite a lot of dailies that they give us for free. So this will skyrocket our damage and our Sacred Force quite a lot. When we went into the fight, we were around 11.5 mil combat power, and
I realized that I took my gear off for nothing because I don't think that the gear actually got upgraded at all. So I don't think our combat power will change too much with the gear. So used to getting some gear upgrades. So here we are, just sitting at 11 mil like I said. But more importantly, we have this amazing level 5 symbol here. That would bring us to just a little bit underneath 12 mil combat power. Pretty significant amount of extra damage. But more importantly, it gives us a hell of a lot of Sacred Force. We're sitting at 100 because we get 50 from the Sacred Symbol, and we also get, I think, 50 from the title that we're currently using. This title is so good, and now with these two things combined, we can actually do full damage to Burning Cernium, which is really nice. Although I don't think that I'll be able to train here anytime soon. It is nice knowing that pretty much the entirety of Cernium and Burning Cernium will do full damage to the mobs. So when we eventually do farm in these areas, it's going to be amazing. Speaking of farming, to be able to farm, we need damage. And the thing I'm so keen to use is this Hexa Matrix. I want to be able to upgrade some of these skills, and I have no idea which ones I'm supposed to upgrade, but we are actually able to upgrade a bunch of different skills. The first thing that I'm really considering is upgrading Demonic Frenzy. Now, before I click into this, because I'm so excited, I need to make sure, according to the Demon Avenger Discord, that this is the correct thing to boost. I believe that these two skills are also very strong. Execution is our main damage. We have Nether Shield too, which is fantastic for training and for bossing. And of course, Demonic Frenzy, which is a big part of our damage. Another thing that I considered using these fragments on is to actually upgrade Soul Janus. And the reason for this is because Soul Janus actually gives us a bunch of extra EXP. You see here, it gives us 10% EXP, which is really nice. But more importantly, it gives us a new summon that allows us to farm. Now, I think in a lot of cases, I would actually go for Soul Janus. But because my character is actually quite weak, I don't think I even am able to farm conveniently anyway, so I'm going to lean towards doing some more damage, whether it be for the skill nodes or the mastery nodes. I think I'm going to get a little bit more mileage out of extra damage, because I think I can do a few more extra bosses in a party. I'm going to quickly check the Demon Avenger Discord and see what I can upgrade. And now at a glance, I think that the Demon Avenger Discord recommends us getting Demonic Frenzy, Execution, and then Nether Shield. I think in general, we're probably going to want to upgrade all of these anyway, but obviously I do not have enough shards to do that. But there was something that they gave us pretty recently on the Sunny Sunday that might help us, and that is this little coupon here that gives us 30 fragments. On top of that, I do also have 6 Soul Erda, so I'm actually able to upgrade a few of these skills. And I want to be able to unlock, I believe, Execution first, including Demonic Frenzy. I'll need a total of 7 Soul Erda, so I'm actually a little bit short, but let's just quickly check. Well, there we go. We do actually get a few Soul Erda from this event as well. This puts me over onto 8, which is really nice. And also, if I decide to claim these things here, I'm going to go for the 30 fragments, of course. And with these two, I'll be able to unlock Frenzy, which is one of our main damaging skills. Fantastic amount of extra damage here. And I will also unlock 1 point into Execution. Now, I would be able to, but my current Execution node is not high enough. I need level 40 in the boost node. And I think as of right now, it's currently sitting at just a little bit under 40, which is obviously not enough. So I'm going to spend some time just upgrading these. I think each of them need to be level 20 for it to be enough for me to boost. So just give me a second when I craft these nodes. So I've used the rest of my shards, and I'm actually just off by maybe 2 or 3 node stones. I just need to craft 2 or 3 or more of these. But thankfully, we do have a bunch of nodes in our storage. I was trying to refrain from using too many of these, but I will just open up maybe another 30 or so. Hopefully this is enough for us to actually finish up this so we can unlock our mastery. After opening the last 30 nodes, I disassembled a few of them, and here we are, level 20 as well on this other skill. Funnily enough, I wasn't actually able to upgrade either Nether Shield or Execution because neither of them were level 40. But hopefully now I've done the math enough so then I can actually upgrade this in our Hexa Matrix. And there we go. We do in fact have enough. This will be a pretty big increase in our damage here, and is the start of us being able to do some new bosses as well. Again, I would often like to upgrade Soul Janus so then we can train, but my character is actually so weak that I don't think Soul Janus will have any value for me at the moment. Also, I'm not really grinding on this character as of just yet. I think I would like to get a few more damage masteries and then start pivoting over to being able to farm. But that being said, here we go guys. We finally have our first mastery unlocked as well. Execution and Demonic Frenzy upgraded now. Our character is going to get a decent amount of extra damage. Just by upgrading this by itself gives us 11% final damage, which is insane, and I believe this does increase our executions damage by a fair amount as well. We only need to farm a few more fragments, so then we are able to unlock our nether shield. I think this is also going to be a significant part of our damage. I have some ideas of what I can do to try to get the last few fragments here, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. So a way that I was thinking to unlock my next mastery on nether shield, I have considered trying to do High Mountain on this character. High Mountain is a dungeon that when you complete it gives you a bunch of fragments, a bunch of EXP, and I don't remember if it gives you Soul Erda, but I think it might give you Soul Erda as well. This will give us 40 total fragments, and that's basically most of the way there. And if we do that on top of our 3,000 mobs killed, now that we have unlocked 6th job, I believe you get 12 fragments and some Soul Erda energy. But the problem with this is that I've been wanting to try to use these on my main, so I think I might have to sacrifice my damage a little bit on this Demon Avenger, so then perhaps I can upgrade it another time. I'm just glad that I'm able to at least upgrade some of the main damaging skills, and we'll just slowly work our way up here. It's going to be a little bit slow to begin with, and we're probably going to be gated by Soul Erda anyway. We'll just see how we go. I would like to do High Mountain, but I really want to claim these rewards on my main. So now that we have finished our item burning, we have finished our hyper burning reaching level 260, what exactly are the next steps for this character? I have a few goals in mind now, and the first one is just simply trying to find ways to upgrade this character that won't cost too much to start off with. Right now, I am pretty strong on my armor gears. I don't really want to make 21 star CRA or 21 star Absolab just yet. I know those are some pretty easy upgrades, but I'm trying to find some smaller upgrades that I can do in the meantime to tide me over and perhaps get me into newer content. And the first thing that comes to mind is just simply making better damage gear. Currently, at the moment, I only have a few items that are actually proper damage gear. It includes this Dominator pendant that I managed to get pretty early. I am currently using this belt sort of as damage gear, but it's not very good, and only one of my rings are damage gear. I do have a few options for myself to get a little bit stronger, and the first ones that come to mind is just by switching over onto reinforced Golix equipment. The Golix equipment is actually quite good. Just based off of the base stats, you have already 20 extra attack power over this pink bean belt, just no stars at all, and this belt is already pretty insane. And the nice thing about this in reinforced belt too is that if we star force it later, we can transfer it onto a superior belt later down the track. So I think this wouldn't be a bad item for me to try to push to 16 stars. And similarly, I would like to use a reinforced Golix earring set as well. These earrings are slightly better than the Will-O-Wisp that we're currently using, and I think these two together will be a nice bit of extra damage. We will be losing a little bit on our set bonus here for our boss accessory set, but I think the extra attack that we can get from the base gear itself and also the 16 or 17 stars will be really nice. It also does set up for our eventual superior set as well. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of money. Hopefully we can get these to 16 stars. I think it will be a nice increase in damage. I also realized that I only have about 700 mil to play with, so the chances of me actually hitting the 16 star is a little low, but it's not a crazy gain for us to try to aim for. And there we go, we get our first item here to 16. I opted not to safeguard these because it would be pretty expensive. And at the end of the day, these are transitional gear, so I'm not too fussed about blowing these up as well. Next up, we have our earrings. These ones, I'm kind of tempted to safeguard because it's my only pair at the moment. But I think even if it doesn't go to 16, I'm not too fussed about it. So I'll just tap this to 16. Hopefully it goes without blowing up, but we'll just see what happens. And we actually did blow them up on the first tap from 15 to 16. Bit of a shame we didn't get that extra bit of damage, but at the same time, I'm not too fussed. I'm actually much happier with the belt than I am with the earrings. The gains here for the belt is much more significant, mostly because of the attack power. The extra 20 attack is pretty insane. This is a nice upgrade over the Clover belt here. And what I'm going to do is I'll just upgrade this up to epic potential. We don't really need it to be any higher because this will be eventually transferred onto a superior belt, I believe, and the potentials don't carry over past epic. I'm just going to use some of these hard cubes and see if we can tier it up. We got the tier up to epic, and now I'm just going to keep using it to roll for HP. I think just 6% HP is enough, and yeah, like I said, that is plenty for extra bit of damage here. And yeah, that's a pretty solid upgrade. puts us now at, wow, 12.3 mil combat power. I think this belt by itself compared to the pink bean belt gave us about 500k combat power. And yeah, look at that. That is a pretty hefty amount of difference for sure. The 16 star and the epic pot really put in a little bit of work there. And I think I'm just going to try to slowly work on replacing our accessories with damage gear. I do have some Carnage treasures, but the problem with these is that, one, they are kind of rare. They don't drop as frequently as other items. I believe we have to Star Force a Carnage treasure to about 18 star for it to even be better in terms of base. And on top of that, I'll have to give it a legendary potential as well, which can be pretty expensive. I don't think I'll do that just yet because I would like to wait for a Star Forcing event. I would like to safeguard these. As for the other bits of equipment, we're kind of just waiting for Gollux gear. I don't really want to make a second damage pendant to replace this Mechanator. The superior pendant will be a lot better. And similarly, the rings will have to be a mix of perhaps a Carnage treasure, a superior Gollux ring, and maybe Mice's ring. We'll see how we go. For the earring, we're hoping, of course, for superior earrings, and hopefully we'll be able to fodder into them one day. And for this letter I accessory, I have thought of two things. The first one is trying to get it from Pink Bean. Chaos Pink Bean and normal Pink Bean are both able to drop a accessory to replace this letter I accessory, which is the one I'm waiting for. It has been about 2 or 3 weeks and I haven't seen it yet. I do have a plan to perhaps do Commercy to take over the slot, but we'll just have to wait and see. And in terms of our face accessory, we're just going to have to use this for a while. I would really not want to make a Sweetwater tattoo, but I might have to depending on my progression. I would like to be able to do Hard Lucid and Hard Will pretty soon. And that is exactly what I'm going to be talking about now. My next step is to try to get into a Hard Will party and a Hard Lucid party. I get the feeling that my character right now is probably strong enough to do both those bosses and blue dot in them, which means that I do contribute just enough to get drops. I have the chance to get arcane armor and arcane weapon boxes, and I have a chance of blinking for perhaps a Twilight Mark as well. Now obviously I will be blue dotting in them, so maybe the party won't let me, but I do want to try to see if I can get into one of these parties. And of course we're coming towards the end of the week, looking pretty empty, so the chances of me getting a will run at the end of the week is pretty low. And of course, for Lucid, we just did Easy Lucid, so that's out of the question for this week. But that's okay. Next week, I'm going to go ahead and try to get into those parties. If I can blue dot, that would be ideal, just so then I can get a chance at some droplets and perhaps a box. But more importantly, I eventually do want to be able to be strong enough to green dot and have a chance at the Twilight Mark. I'm trying not to get carried in any of the bosses at the moment, just so then it doesn't speedrun progression. But I think that will be it for the time being for my Demon Avenger. We'll worry about that on the next part because I don't even know if I have enough damage to do blue dot in Lucid and Will, but it would be a nice feeling to try. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video so far. If you guys have, please give the video a like. It helps me out a lot. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe to the channel. We are wrapping up this video on our character here, finishing off the part at 12.3 mil combat power. At level 260 with parts of our 6th job unlocked, which is fantastic. I am so keen to try out some of the bosses with this extra damage. I don't know how well it will go, but it's pretty exciting that our character has gotten this far so quickly. Anyway, take care guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.